Sun shining. Showing them 32s or 33 or 34s with a couple wisdom tooth back there. Had to deal with abuse at an early age. But we got to this point, so now we can go ahead and build and help others. Love you, Let me get some water. Good taste. We needed that. Post workout vibes. Sky's out, got my thighs out. Hoping no man come down here trying to get sun on the knock. I'm not trying to, entice nobody. I mean, a woman I can be cool, they like it. Women like attention any goddamn way. That's what I'm saying. Look at a woman if you're a man and shit. You know what I mean? Be bold enough to look at a woman. You know what I'm saying? Don't look a man in face to face. We're not supposed to do that. Probably a gay motherfucker be like, well, why? Why can't I look in your eye? Like, oh, okay, I understand. I know what's up. You want to feel that that dragon glance and shit. Anyhow, though, it's a beautiful day. As far as the sun being out, we want to keep the vibes up high and smooth sailing. We want to keep the sun shining with the bright UV rays in the world that we're in today, and healing. Nobody said healing was gonna be easy. Nobody said healing is easy. Healing, in fact, is a hard thing to do. Let me make sure. Let me check my back. Shouldn't be too many motherfuckers. Down here, I see a couple Micronesians. They be using Micronesians to do their sun work. So the Micronesians be walking around with them glasses on, like, thinking nobody can see their soul and shit. But it's kind of like how it is in Mexico. They got certain informants in Mexico to keep things under wraps and make sure niggas don't come down to Mexico. And make sure niggas, whatever it is, you make sure niggas don't come to Mexico. Why? You see all these goddamn pyramids in Mexico? You make sure them niggas don't come to Mexico. I'm talking about, I don't want them visiting for a little bit. You better give them a hard time. They got informants all over the world for niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the time is here. The year of the lamb is here. Let me peek my back. Watch my back real fast. I know they got the little Micronesian brothers. They have the Micronesians out when the sun is out doing their work. If they can't sit outside and look at you and shit. So they have informants who don't know no better. But yeah, this is not racist right now. We're building about the blacks and whites in America, not just in the world. I like talking to all the peoples in the world. Niggas like people in the world, man. Trust you me. We don't want to bring harm or rob and steal from nobody. We have our own shit. It was robbing, stolen from us, but we don't want to go rob and steal nobody else's shit. Hey, what's happening? Peace. We don't want to steal nobody else's shit. We ain't like we sitting there with all this power and they say, man, that man got all that power. He can push the button and destroy the world. What motherfucker you think really got all that power? They say that the president had that when I was coming up. Reagan had all that shit. He can just push the button when he get upset and just blow the world up. Man, nigga, you got all that power. You would have been did that shit. When you trying to do it now and the button stuck. But yeah, we gotta jump into this, man. This is really not a racist thing. This is health. This is healing. We're dealing with healing now. Because with a lot of things that we see on TikTok, and I don't deal with TikTok because I know what's the difference between a tick and a tock? It's time gone. So they learn how to manipulate our time, but in exchange, if we use TikTok for, beneficial purposes of education wise or just learning, then yeah, you could be able to benefit from what was hidden from the world. And seeing the schemes and the plots and plans that they had with the curriculums teaching in America. When all cultures came to America and shit, they was learning about Christopher Columbus and the Indians and the Thanksgiving and all that shit. All that's out the window now. So now it's time for everybody to catch up to what we've been talking about, what we've been going through. Peace. He says, marketing I don't know what that says, but I don't know. I got to get down to it. It says marketing something. But yeah, anyhow though, as far as like the separation, because if anybody hates this, something's wrong with them. Because it's evident, as history has shown, at the hands of an oppressor, of a murderer, who nobody ever tried to even murder or hurt you or nothing, still turned the other cheek to treat you like you was a man, to be like, yo, maybe you will get it later. When ancestors went and allowed themselves to be, to be murdered, man. And then later on in the year, I'm talking about 200 years later, to see certain, you know, offspring of these people mocking the history that we had with these people, you know, of the murder, death, kill, the serving. And now they're starting to see like, oh, damn, niggas really had the land. It was their shit. So yeah, now they see now niggas don't have the audacity. We just have this royal this thing about ourselves. Like we want to treat everybody else equal to us. We already know we got the gifts, we got the talents that the Most High blessed us with, and our ancestors blessed us with, you know. But now that we got jumped by all these cultures that came to our land, they're bringing in familiar spirits of their side, meaning that they're coming with spirits that we didn't even know shit about, that we're battling. We know it's a spirit war. So when they're coming over now, I'm gonna put this as a thumbnail, because now, you know, you see the pictures of the incubator babies, or the so-called Caucasians, the Slavic people who came over in boats and trains and did all these things on trains and everything. You see the people that was with them in these pictures, they were looking demonic as hell. Like either the lens caught the spiritual aspect of these people, or these people were actually fucked up like that. Now we're dealing with these people that came onto our land, and this is truth. I'm not being racist. Now this is like, yo, when we're dealing with military now, and we're supposed to go fight a war, and we have an enemy that we're supposed to be tagging up against, there's no way in hell we should be separated in the military. It's none. You know, especially when you start seeing that niggas is actually cold with the military shit, and they find this out in battle. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining in. Peace. You know, so they found this in battle, when that niggas were actually, you know, very, very wise and calculative when it comes to killing this shit. But we're not striving to be that way. But if it was to defend our land, which was something that was already in our gene, and we kind of thought that going all overseas to defend our land is to raid other villages and shit of just women and children and shit like that, other natural people, we were brainwashed to do certain things like that. So now we're at a point where it's like, you know, because in like World War II and shit, you know, there was segregation in the war. They were still talking shit about niggas going over to, you know, fighting the war with them over in Germany, which we really didn't have no business doing, but we did anyways. These mugs still talk shit about niggas. Mugs sent the Red Tails, you want to call them, that's the movie they made, the Tuskegee Airmen. They didn't even, one plane didn't even crash or get blown up. They came back with all the planes. I think it was the first time that ever happened. And they guarded the bombers, and they still had segregation in the army. So it's like, damn, are we fighting the enemy? And then when you see, you hear other stories about the Korean War and the Vietnam War, which niggas ain't had no way, shouldn't been in there, but they made niggas go to that war. We ain't even volunteer to go. By that time, we wasn't even trying to go to war no more, because it's like, look, you're dishonoring us on our own soil. First, it's segregation about the water fountain, something as petty as a water fountain, and in a bathroom. Nobody fight and stand up for that shit. We hit it. And business-wise, we stopped using the bus line, even though the bus line was ours. You know how you probably was that friend and you allowed this old uppity ass friend to kind of shine, because you don't want them to get a little bit upset, so you kind of keep everything cool. You really the shiner. It's kind of like what we was doing with this motherfucker. And in real life, we really have to separate. It's a narcissistic, toxic relationship. We really have to separate. And this is not about hate. If you really want to heal, healing is not going to be an easy thing to do, but you must. When you're in a narcissistic relationship, you know, we're at a point in the relationship with these people, whereas a narcissist will want to, when they're breaking up with their side bitches and shit, like, yo, you got to get the hell up out of here, and slapping their side bitches up in front of you and shit, they main bitch, like, see, baby, I don't want these bitches, slapping them up and shit, that's ice and shit, you know what I'm saying? I don't want these hoes. I'm gonna show you I want you in the end. That's kind of like what they trying to do. But most eyes gonna touch it to do it the real way, no matter how cunning they think they is. You know, but as far as like separating, it means that, you know, getting out their army, P. You know, the devaluing of Shadur Sanders. I mean, like, damn, the team don't even want to win. Talking about the Cleveland Browns, they don't even want to win. You must not want to win. If you're anybody who ever did it that's doing analysis to Shadur Sanders, you know, he's a chosen one as far as like showing and proving, you know, the patience, the discipline, the gifts of the spirit, basically. in face of adversity, like, you know, being devalued in front of everyone, being the last damn near pick of a quarterback when you know damn you should be the first one. And you can see by the game that happened last week when he played against the first pick, he could have won. But what happened? The coach sabotaged. See, niggas, we're sabotaging ourselves in cluster B personality disorder traits because, you know, that comes a part of the program, self-sabotaging. But once you start healing, you start doing things, you start retaining your light and loving yourself and loving your brothers just like you. But what they do, they could have won the game or win in overtime at least. This is the second time the coach did this to devalue Sanders. They didn't do the 2-point conversion and none of that shit. I didn't even watch the game. I just paid attention. I just kind of get the insight of how it is. I'm like, yo, he put it together. This is how we are in America as niggas. So now you see, it's like, it's not about winning for them. They're natural born losers. And whenever we're attached to them, we're going to be losing too. No matter if we throw 300 plus yards and run a touchdown in a scramble, damn near fuck yourself up. We're still going to lose dealing with these folks. Because why? They're losers. Why is this so fun playing against losers? Because you know they're going to lose. Now, you know what I'm saying? That's really why you're playing against them. Sometimes you don't play against a loser. You really want to play against a mug that's going to bring you up to your highest level, another champion. But there are champions at losing. So now we learn how to lose by just dealing with them. Pardon me, I don't want to mess up the daggone thing, you know. But now we're becoming losers, learning how to lose is like how they are, and they're learning how to win, but it's by dealing with our culture. But yet we won't separate from these people because we fear Stockholm syndrome. Now we can pull it up. Stockholm. That means, you know what I'm saying, after you break up with a motherfucker, you think you still love him and shit. And you really don't. You just been narcissistically abused and you just thinking of the good times that y'all had together. Like, man, remember that? We did all of this. It's like, you know, and that's how they kept our higher elite. They're not really elite, but they just chose to go through with the hell to get the money and be, you know, in the face of the man, you know, of being, you know, valued by the man. They want to be valued by the man so much they go through anything and shit. Do anything to be having the attention of the man when they really want to have attention to you. That's really, you notice when you take that energy back, your kundalini, I'm talking about not jacking. No, I'm not having sex. I'm talking about for these little months and years, you know, to see that you don't have this sickness. It's nothing wrong with doing this. To heal, it's not going to be easy, but at the same time, you're going to separate yourself from them. You're going to come from the lower self and get to the higher self. And that's where they can't fuck with you at. They're mad that I'm saying this, man. They hate me every day. They send Judas around and want to send out certain things towards me and hijack certain mortals and shit to say little things. But most I come up with the universe, sending me butterflies, my birds, or somebody come up and try to hug me and hand me some money or something after a being has gotten hijacked from the low vibratory entities of Earth. But once you start honoring your sexual energy, I guarantee you, man, Most High, the universe will see that and start rewarding you every day. They see your intent. You know that shit is hard once you've been molested. You have to admit you've been molested as a culture, as a spiritual. Niggas has been molested by these white folks. These white folks learned us, and we're not gonna say that they totally responsible, but they've been taught how to do certain things. You know, according to false prophets Malachi York and not Malachi York, but Elijah Muhammad was a false messenger, but he's still allowed to get the message out. You know, we learned from his understandings of what, you know, of what he read upon, you know, Farrar Muhammad, because we don't know exactly what Farrar Muhammad knew, but Malachi York, false prophet, has said that he was a 55-degree Mason. You know, either way it goes, it's all stolen from the true Nagas. They're everything. They're false Osiris. Because that's part of their culture too. They working together. That's why they teamed up to come over to our shit. Because we had the true Heru ideology, but it's not really Heru. It's Zarathustra or the Zora doctrine, or what we had, you know, 3,000 years prior to the false Heru and the false Jesus. The Jesus story comes right from Zarathustra. That story predates every story. It's founded in India, and not India over in what we think India is now. That's why the motherfuckers getting a lot of shit handed to them. That's why you see a lot of shit happening right now. We went over there and showed them and taught them. And a false god rose up in that land over there. That's what happened over there. They only send emissaries to our land. Once you start understanding the science of the heavens and what everybody's on, you'll start taking that kundalini. It's the simple as doing that, but it's hard to do if you continuously having sex, staying in your first month. You gotta get past your 4th month, your heart chakra, and you start seeing life for really what it is, and it's a beautiful thing, you know. And then you realize you're at war, nigga. At war for your happiness, no matter where you go. But the Most High said it already in the Bible. Most may fall in the right and left, all that of you, man. But we're gonna keep you straight and narrow, man. But you gotta do this. This is the way, the truth, and the light. In these ages, I got the flyer on me, so I know I got them eyes on me. They know we spitting, we know we talking, and ain't no false prophet said this, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that sexual energy. And the Zarathustra came with it. He was born a sexless being. I'm pretty sure I was gonna be a sexless being. You know what I mean? That's why I'm harnessing. I got feminine energy, divine feminine energy. It's not have to do with nothing with sex. It happens when you be celibate for a long ass time. The man starts to be like more beautiful and shit like that. You know what I mean? Even more attractive as magnetic. And it's not like, you know, some men can't help it, and some men can just see the beauty like, damn, that's what I see in me. That's what I'm gonna be. You know, and you'll be that even more better if you start now and you're younger and shit. You know, just getting the kingdom back in our own self, because you see with all the devaluation of what we get, whether it's in the cars, whether it's in, okay, I appreciate you showing up. Okay, that's what's up. That's probably a while ago. But thank you though. I'm glad you jumping up in here. You know, it's not meant to devalue anyone, to hurt anyone. I'm not here to have an idolized, devalue, and discard thing that we have going around the world, especially with niggas and shit, because niggas don't really have nothing. Like, you know, as far as like to show physically, we just have, you know, talent that we're tapped into with the Creator to bring and spread joy around the world for people to watch us grow and to see how we evolve. What this niggas gonna come up with next? That's what we be on. We be like, that nigga, we know it's gonna be a new nigga that's gonna do something, because the Most High touches us in those ways and inspires us just like that, so we can inspire the world. But now the world's about to be under punishment after watching us in punishment. They're gonna see us be not bothered by nobody, be not bothered by anyone, molested by no other spirit. Because first of all, the spiritual world got to get cleaned up. Atmosphere, that has to be cleaned up first. Once atmosphere is cleaned up, the physical starts to get cleaned up. The true India is in America. I have to jump back into that again. That's me jumping all over the place. Because Zarathustra, really, all those stories, when we talk about the worlds, the 4 corners of the world, all that's in America, where you got Utah, Judah, you know, all that area, the Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and all that's right there. You know, it was big ass cathedrals and temples and shit and everything. That's how I feel it. Telling us, you know what I'm saying? It was all that right there first. So when we went over and went over to the other parts of the world and taught of these things, you know, it just got spread around. But we went through the Pacific way. We didn't go to the Atlantic way. We was designed to only go westward. Hey, what's up, Thuggy Dub? What's happening with your little pretty eyes? So yeah, as far as like, you know, a separation dealing with the white folks, and it's like, I know it sounds like it's hate, but I'm talking about the white folks in America. You know, give time for new white folks to come through. They want to deal with us. You know, they got a chance to watch us on TV and chill and know that we really we're not evil motherfuckers and shit, as they've been portraying about us and making us seem like we're not like the truth. See, love goes down by me. See the thugs over here trying to get some. She's like, I don't want to get you none. I don't want to get you none. He's like, let me get some, baby. Let me get some. Okay, I'm not gonna look at y'all like that. But we got love over here where I'm at. Well, you know, people are hating, you know, around me and shit. So that's why they gotta come up and get that love. You'll have it in you too. Once you start doing selling, you got it in you anyways. But being separate from these people in this season to heal is a must, man. You know, you can't just heal and still think you can be drinking and smoking. You gotta find something to stop for a second. Then you know what it is to stop. And smoking weed ain't really a bad thing. If you like, you may be an empath, you may need it. Or you may not be an empath and you may need it to be able to feel some shit, to be an empath. It's either or. You know, it's always a trial period to get you used to certain things. But it's not addictive as far as like when you're dealing with harsher drugs and harsher shits. The weed actually help you get off of that, and then you can just stop smoking weed all on its own. But it's up to you though. That's a spiritual thing. We can talk about that a little bit later. But the separation right now is a must. I had to peep my little scenery. I got the thugs right here, so we should be all straight. Now a couple Micronesians over there. Ain't no down here in the sun, so must not really come down here too tough because it's hot, motherfucker, and it's good to me. All right, so back into the game, the segregation. It's not hate, man. Wouldn't you agree that niggas and black folks, niggas and white folks need to separate in America? Like, yo, because there's always some type of static, some type of something that goes down, and black folks never. We've been seeing it on TikTok now or on everything, Instagram, that niggas never start nothing. They never start nothing. They're always on the defense. It's always like if these folks sense you in public and they got a lot of them around, like Martin said, don't they act a little funky? I seen one where the young brother was walking through a certain neighborhood. I used to walk through all the rich neighborhoods and shit, but these mothers rolled up on him and said, yo, go. They trying to roll up on him, tell him to get up out the neighborhood. He's walking to get away. The thing is, them people's my age now, though. It's like, damn, you grew up in hip-hop. You seen Michael Jackson. What's your reason to be hating now? You know what I'm saying? You done grew up and seen the change in music. If you grew up and seen what hip-hop was, I'm talking about the change in music of everything. Like, everything sounded different when hip-hop came. You thought different. Kids were fucking like a little adults at those times. You know, kids is kind of like that now, but not really like how we were, you know? Because we had to deal with drugs and our parents being out, you know, and not seeing them. And then we had to deal with it, creating remedies. We created remedies, which were gangs and shit, to protect us from police violence in the hood. You see, that's what the Panther shit on. I felt that good spirit breeze. You know, the Panther was about, you know what I mean? Because police brutality was always happening. So Moses trying to find out ways to protect us while we're in the hood. We ain't had no foods, you know what I mean? Mugs made WIC programs up. Let's everybody eat, you know? I've already got to put out of my face. But, you know, let's put some community gardens in. You see all that? That's all been happening because there were niggas that was already doing these things in certain communities. They just weren't allowing us to do it all over. Once they start catching on that, oh, these niggas is gonna be playing gardens in the city, getting little niggas from, you know, that's basically deaf-bound to rethink their life at a young age and point them in the right direction. No, we can't have that. We gotta put something else out there. So that's how, you know, they've been always offending us the whole fucking time. All we've been trying to do is make some money to eat some food. Now they found a way to get in between man and woman, which was the most horrible thing, because there shouldn't be no law with man and woman unless they're both weak and wicked, narcissistic, basically, sociopathic. Fucking got a lot of money and shit. Gotta be a lot of detail in their contract because of their wickedness. But when you got ones who got love, man, everything's simple. We just make it. Hey, let me say the name. Charlotte. Did I say it right? I hope I said it right, because the sun is beaming on the NAGA right now. NAGA is in the Pacific, that means native of the land. To see the phonetic sounds. So when somebody come in and be like, nigger, slave, deport, and all of this shit, it's they have an intent and gaslighting and projecting of trying to hurt. We ain't trying to have, if they do that, man, that shows right there. We gotta separate, man. We gotta separate. You know what I'm saying? If we're that much problem to you, just leave us fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta see each other at all. We don't have to wish harm on one another. We don't have to start nothing with one another. We can each have our own separate. Just like even in the military. You know, and that's the sad part, because we're supposed to be fighting the same fucking enemy. But you got something against me, and we're in the military fighting the same enemy, man. We gotta get out the military, dog. We gotta let y'all gotta let them take what they do, what they gonna do, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just plain and simple. And study narcissism, study cluster B personality, study sociopath, NPD, you know, BPD, borderline personality, which is basically just creating relationships based off of sex alone. This is why you must be celibate and paying your tithes every month, man. And finding your direct connection to the source and your ancestors by cleaning and purifying your vessel. That's the only way. You got to meet them halfway, P. You can't just, ain't nobody gonna save a motherfucker. You have to save self in this time. And this is what we're doing right now. We're making knowledge going to save self. That's 1 in 9. The lowest number and the highest number coming together, making the S letter, basically. That Kundalini. Making knowledge going to save self. Today just happened to be the born day. Anyways. I know, pretty good. Yeah, it's the born day and born's culture. And so, for order for us to live our right and exact culture, which is I God, we don't worship no God. We have the Creator. We the I Am, and everybody knows this. We deal with the I Am. They can feel it. I'm talking about any elite motherfucker in the world. No, even with the people who wrote the Awaspi. Now, Awaspi is a cold book. But you gotta understand. I'm gonna break it down. But as far as the terms of India, when India was termed India, because India is really was called Hindustan, and we know Christopher Columbus wasn't going to Hindustan to get them spices, them herbs and giblets and shit. That nigga was going to West Indies. Now, India is just a broad name for where a whole bunch of niggas is at. Really. That's why it was later called Kush over in the other India. That's the second. That's India Minor. India Major is what Zarathustra is, where we was at. We had Zarathustra was the first prophet, the one who showed us the life beyond death. He was born of sexes, Isus, which they mistakenly called Jesus. Now they just kind of fuck with the whole shit. But as is a sexless child who don't want to have sex with motherfuckers and shit, and knew and understand his mission. Zarathustra was so tall, everybody knew when they seen him who he was. When they seen him, they say it was like 4 cubic meters. That's taller than every man. G. Like they around. It's like seeing Shaq, and you'd be like, "Oh man, that's Shaq." Well, not 4, but I think it's bigger than 4. I gotta get the exact number. But he's the first prophet. This is where you get the it's an ancient religion. Not even a religion. It's just a way of life. The Zarathustrians dealing with the all spirit of the Ahu Mazdan law, which is the great Ahu Mazda, which is the all, the I Am. They had a false Ahu Mazda who came along later and did the whole little false Brahma and all that shit. That shit's demonic now. You know, when you see anything about the Vedic shit now, it's demonic. The hidden shit was from Zarathustra when Mugs went and traveled over to India and gave them temples and built them temples, which was very similar to the temples in the Grand Canyon, the fucking in Utah, all the area over there. Everything was made out of stone, out of the earth. And so they did the same shit over in India Minor. But we had India Major. All the major shit was in our shit. Man over here looking at me. As soon as I look up, this motherfucker's like, he know I'm about to look up and shit. Like he's fucking looking on the thing, listening like, yeah, it's him, he's talking. So we don't give a fuck, man. At this stage, man, it's about celibacy. They know I'm telling the truth. Celibacy is gonna get you right back up. It's gonna get our shit right back, G. If you want a twin flame, that's gonna get you your twin flame. You know, if you want to get your state of mind back and your heart back in order and your judgment back in order and your happiness back in order, because you're gonna always get motherfuckers always gaslighting and projecting their insecurities onto you. So basically, you have to be able to cultivate happiness and your highest level of light within yourself every single waking minute, and even while you're in your rest, all day long, all the time. They don't want you to, you know, sometimes you gotta hide your happiness too. That's why niggas got to the point where they be so happy you gotta hide it. Like, yeah, man, shit, ain't nothing going on. They gotta hide his happiness. The motherfucker looking at him like, nigga happy. Man, what's up, man? What you got going on today, man? What you got going on today? Shit. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? You be, yeah. Try to get you to react to shit before you know you be all like, yeah, man, I'm finna go over here, and I'm finna do that. Yeah, I got that nigga happiness. Keep on, what you finna do, nigga? Ain't used to that motherfucking energy and shit. It's like a big ass motherfucker, just dopamine push. But when you gone, ain't that happiness is gone with you. You be trying to hide your happiness. But now in this day and age, man, it's time for us to cultivate the happiness and show it amongst each other, man, because this is how it is. That's why we're supposed to be set apart, you know, focusing on our own shit. Now, we see already the devaluing of us, and every chance they get, I don't care, the term Karen came from white folks, right? I mean, shit. But then, I mean, shit, we see it now. They attack, they saying everything, everybody should leave. And don't understand that, yeah, you're the first immigrants, man. And we thought we could work together, but we see that the military, we can't work together because you still want us to keep us segregated in the military. Don't make no goddamn sense. It's like we're fighting enemies, but then at the same time, it's been instances they say they even, you know, warred on niggas in Vietnam while they was out on the woo. It's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of shit. that we just be like, you know what? We're not even gonna deal with you guys no more. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna go ahead and heal. Healing is hard to do, but we're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna cultivate the energy. We're gonna get that kundalini crackling, popping like it's supposed to be. Energy up. Getting your superpowers right inside. What you doing? Walking the plank sideways and shit? Look at him, just sideways walking. What's up, Nick? Got Thug back here. That's Swift back there. What's happening, Swift? I'm gonna hook y'all up. Let me give y'all something real fast as y'all came through. Look at all of them. Hey, me, man, you looking like, yeah, dog. It's little baby dragons and shit. You know, I already know big dragon popping up. Damn, all these niggas, look at this one. I want y'all to see this shit. Hold up. Look at these motherfuckers. You be like you think they spying on me and shit. Y'all see this shit? The hell going on with these folks? These is men. They ain't standing over here in the group looking at a nigga and shit. I'm down here. You can't even see me. Look. Are they spying? Are they gang stalking? Yes, they're gang stalking. I just showed y'all what gang stalking is. They do this shit to me all the goddamn time. They know I'm spiritually connected with and I don't feel like dealing with motherfuckers. They try to make the entitlement issue come so motherfucking hard, and not a narcissism, where it's like, you know, narcissists are very entitled to your energy. Like they're entitled. That's like everybody in the world is entitled to a nigga's energy. Like if you notice, if you're by yourself and you're traveling, certain Caucasians won't even move out the way. If they're on the only path, they won't even go. Some of them will do it too much, and a lot of them just stand there. Like you're supposed to say, excuse me. Like you don't feel me coming up. Would you stand in the middle of traffic? Would you let your car stay in the middle of traffic? I've seen them do it around me. I see so much shit now because taking the energy back. Okay, y'all, I got y'all. Hold on. To take the energy back. You know what I'm saying? When you take the energy back, I'm talking about all of us and shit. Everything gets a crack. Like, look at this shit. Seeing that shit. Motherfuckers just walk right up over here. Ain't got shit to do over here. I wouldn't walk over. I wouldn't even give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Just let you know that, right? You get to a certain stage, man, now they got competition. The niggas is out in the world now. You know what I'm saying? And we're not even trying to holler at you chicks. But them chicks is gonna choose up. They coming to us, and that's not like a racist thing, but the way they act, you know what I'm saying? Like the man he felt entitled to walk over to me. You see me out here, I'm chest naked. I got something covering up my loins, but I got my legs out so I can get the sun on the nigga and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tucked down, hidden. And I learned out here, you can go into a bush and try to hide and take a picture of a man and walk up to your ass still. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no type of sense of discipline in sexuality. Really, in real life, G. They choose to be gay in this motherfucker. So it's not like a motherfucker done forced them to molested them and stuck fingers in their asses and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, a lot of these women, they like us, and they kind of like preparing the world to like us, it seems like. Because we're what? Putting in the work. For what? You know, we're doing celibacy and shit. Semen retainer, man, that attracts all the women, man. Women see that, feel that shit, they don't get pee. They had to fight gay men off. That's how they mad at that. Once they realize what's going on, they're mad at that. Gee, they're like, damn, I gotta argue with a man, because most gay men, you know what I'm saying, they choose that. So that means if they choose it, you know, you're arguing with a woman. It's not that this man is really in tune with his femininity. No, the gay man actually has a sickness. His kundalini is going the opposite direction. He can't even be celibate for more than fucking 4 months, damn near, unless forced upon him. To get the kundalini to go in the right direction, to get to liking the sin of a woman instead of being jealous and envious of her. Butches are not jealous and envious of dudes, but a lot of things that butches done went through, it kind of is like disappointed in a man, because it's like, dude, you got all this power and look how you use it. The butch don't even give her power you away. She may give some head, but she don't get the power you away. She deal with a woman in her masculine state, even though she looks like she's in a masculine state, but she's not. The one who's in that masculine state is the one who's like the pretty woman, the pretty sedity one and shit, because she's in a predator type of mindset. So that's the same thing when it comes to being gay. She's a predator, man. A lot of that shit wasn't nipped in the bud when you was younger. My man paying attention to me and shit. They're looking at the phone. They must be paying attention to me or something, man. Look at this shit. He just walks. So I got the broadcaster in the back room, because you know we're doing some supernatural shit. Just laying on a nigga. Got men with low jacked off not too long ago, and their wife, I don't know, walking up to a nigga and shit. You know what I mean? Trying to get some of the energy. Men do it the most because even though they have the means to do it themselves, they'll be attracted to another man that's actually harnessing his sexual energy, which is the Kundalini energy and shit. Not letting your shit release and bust and have sex with yourself, play with yourself. And that's what you're doing. You're playing with yourself. That's another reason why we gotta separate from these mugs, man. Because they molested niggas, man. They act like they ain't molest niggas. They act like they ain't kill niggas. They act like they wrote the books with their own hand and shit, man. It's a must we leave these motherfuckers alone and let God, let the Most High handle them. Let the power, the true power, handle them and live our culture and see and show how we're supposed to show. Because right now it subconsciously shows that white folks is the leader, but that shit coming down. Motherfuckers ain't liking that shit. But you know how they get certain respect around the world. We're not jealous of none of that shit. We know they learn from us. we know they learn everything from us or some other wicked ass nigga, but they learn from us as well. For sure. It was right up under us. I mean, like farming and everything. They ain't know nothing about farming. So don't act like they came up to America. They knew farming. They ain't know shit. They didn't know nothing. That's what I'm saying. That's what they got everybody fooled. Like they learned and they knew everything. We gave them our blood, sweat, and tears, man. It's time to give no more, man. I don't know why no false prophet didn't say that. Them motherfuckers still trying to integrate in their motherfucking system. It's like it's easy as fucking apple pie if you eat the shit. Like, yo, it's Kundalini, man. Stop having sex. These motherfuckers just was liking their narcissistic power and was able to get, you know, little girls 14, 15 years old. I'm talking about Elijah Muhammad. Mad at Malcolm X saying a 14 and 15 years old. I mean, you ain't got to, but if there was nothing wrong with it, you could have just came out like, yeah, I had a 14-year-old man. Just said it. If you was right, if you know you was doing something right in your heart. What? It wasn't. You know you wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like all these people. So sex is very, very important, man. These motherfuckers still over there. They're probably checking it out. Sex very important, man. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, you know, releasing, you know, right now taking your power back. I'm not having sex with none of these foreign motherfuckers right now, man. Let them see your true power. Right? Why they want to have sex with you in the first place? Man, we got the best loving, dick, whatever, intimacy, whatever on earth. We actually feel the energy. We ain't even gotta have no money. We can get all the honeys. And they know that. White folks seen that. They've been up around us for long enough. I ain't gotta coax the white girl, the pimp, to be a pimp. She already done disposed herself. We knew that already, who she was. She done already fucked all the niggas on the plantation and shit. We knew that. It's just y'all didn't know that. She can be a little picky with everybody else in the world. Because it's like, nigga, she done had the nigga. That's what it is. It's like, nigga, and the white man know that. The first motherfucker see you, who they see you? When they see the nigga. If it's a couple, the white girl, she'll see you, but she got them glasses on. She know how to scope, like, you know, Cyclops and shit, and get her a little look on. But as far as, like, if they just walking, nigga, the white man's, boom, staring. Don't nobody stare. You don't stare at another man that way unless your Kundalini is going the opposite direction. Why would you do that to another man? And you walking with a girl. And we don't act like cockholes ain't here, because we know what a cockhold is. Why another man got to why got another man have to turn you on in order for you to fuck your wife? That's right there. That right there. You use for that. Sexual gratification. Trying to get you to accept their sexual behaviors. Sure, it's in a lot of us too. But however, a lot of us, majority of us been molested more so, and that shit just been continuing on. Also, versus if niggas really was gay, they knew not to have no babies. They told their own self, like, I ain't gonna have no baby. They said just like that, because they knew what their gene was and what they was capable of. They like that. So they basically just hurt the motherfucker who was, they basically just had sex with people who were predators and like just hurting them instead of taking they shit out on innocent people. So niggas, it still was an order to that. But these motherfuckers ain't got no order. They can go down and have a parade with a big ass dick in the middle of the street, man. The kids is there. Gay men can adopt boys. I haven't seen too many gay men adopting girls. Girl intuition so damn high, she'll catch that shit as a child and turn against that motherfucker. Probably kill a motherfucker by the time she turned 8. They're afraid of a girl because they're gonna see right through it. You know what I'm saying? You had the exes and all that shit. They know a bit. They know a little girl and see through all that shit. You know, boys, you have to really be on them in sexuality and shit. It's called discipline. It's for their whole life. If you ain't on a boy sexuality, it's gonna be hard for them. You gotta jiggle that door. You gotta make sure you don't play with itself and shit like that. I done raised boy. I didn't make sure I had to talk. I raised all the way up to men. And I've been raised up or reared up, you know, so I can't just be sitting here talking. I've done it. We're gonna show it. So the thing is that, you know, yeah, you gotta be on a boy, man. You can't just let his mind thoughts. They made it so easy in school for him to think about sex, knowing that his when he hits puberty, that's a powerful thing he has to master. You can't just give in to jacking off every day before coming to school and shit, sitting in the classroom with a big titty ass teacher. Nowadays the teachers got asses and shit. Got asses, dog. She walking around the room in her cluster B personality, trying to entice the young man and shit, or the young men and shit. She may have a fetish for young motherfuckers, even if they old, young in mind, young in spirit. Or some of them got a fetish for old people, but you don't see them in school though. And they're in different places. You know, it's a lot of things going on. So now you got to see the spirit world. That's what we're bringing into the game. I'm finna get ready to probably wrap it up because I got 6 motherfucking men over there. 6 of them. I just had to look up. I'm like, damn, I knew they was gonna come around. 6 of them. They can't even see me, but they feel me and they won't even move. Ain't got shit else to do. And it's like, they never seen niggas like, you know, like we're, it's funny, you know, because people will hate you for being you, for making yourself great. Not that you're like the big eye, little you, but most eyes gonna put you to a point where you're gonna be the one. Like, it's just like how when white folks, like people like white men, like no matter where they go in the world, like, you know, they cater to them, they're tourists, the women will give them ass because they give them money, all that shit. Well, it's about to change up. It's about to go back to being normal. When the copper nigga or the nigga go around the world, from the American nigga go around the world, shit changes, it's gonna change up. That power change is going back into the hands of the NAGA, but you ain't gonna be able to go around the world like that no more. You have to go in your own kingdom. And in your kingdom, you can't really lead your kingdom like that too tough, man. Unless you like got hella spiritual protections, you have to have that shit laid out. Cause these people, they already violated us, man. So that we're in a point of healing and they don't even want us to heal. You know what I'm saying? They don't even want us to heal. You can't heal in a toxic environment, dude. So if it's that, you know, we went through that much hell, let's just have some time apart. We got the dragon coming, we got Leviathan moving, we got earthquakes happening, we got dissatisfaction going down. We got a lot of shit going on in the world, man. A lot of shit. So it's like, especially the only thing we can do that we only got control on is our sexual energy. Meaning that, I know you ain't getting pussy every day by a new person unless you like rich or something. You know, people just like sex in general. But you know, yeah. So the only thing you can do is just, you know, control that urge. It's not even a controlling thing. It's like you're growing with it. You're growing with it. It's not even a lust. The lust, you'll notice that you're lusting, you really don't have to entertain that thought. Certain times you're entertaining, we give you the numbers, man. You're only gonna be super horny when the moon is in your sun sign. So that's pretty much it. That's for everyone. Women, if you do celibacy, you're gonna be, we want you mad. I mean mean. Mean. That's why it's hard to get with a butch. She mean. Nobody wanna take time out to build with her. I would, because I like butches and shit. Town boys and stuff, you know, I grew my daughter up like that, but she's got a little girl side too. She's tough though. She grew up with brothers and shit. And that's what you want. You know, it's already, the woman is like, you know, the man is the head and the woman still has a, you know, it's already that, if one call it secondary, but it's like, you know, she still has a lesser thing. So she can be even messed up if you don't have her in tune with that masculine energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like knowing what to expect, because men can seem really very, you know, manipulative. Men can be very cool and suave and shit. You know, they got that feminine energy and they using it to the badness. Look at them, they see that spirit, they see something. What's up, y'all? Y'all chilling? Y'all feel all of them spirits. Each one of them motherfuckers over there got like 5 or 6 spirits on them, huh? And you know. And it's something else, because, you know, the Micronesians, they got their own island. They got their own island and shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's crazy how they bring them over to, you know, the other islands and make them do work and shit. Let me tell it, you know, I get even more deeper, because they got certain maps where they got Micronesia outside of the Arctic ring. Like, y'all want to go get them niggas from out there? Bring them in here, put them on the island. They also said that they was trying to, it was a big aquatic creature and shit, and they accidentally had the bomb over there using, you know, the atomic bomb, and so that's why they relocated them and shit. And brought them to other islands and stuff like that. But you know, it's gonna always be some slick shit. Me telling you this, letting you know, like, damn, I ain't know all this shit was going on. Well, it's popping. It's popping. So with that being said, I'm finna get ready to hop off here because I know I got these men over here. When you got more, like when you got like 4 more men just staring at you for like no reason, it's a vamping energy. It's different than if you got 4 women looking at your ass like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a giving energy to them, you know what I mean, for them, and they cool with the shit. But when you got men, it can drain you out and shit a little bit more because they're really paying attention to y'all, and they ain't even pay a ticket to get no energy and shit. You know, they think that your energy is free. You know, so once you start taking that shit back, you ain't gonna be thinking about sex and none of that shit too tough. You know, all the women be basically attracted to you because none of the men in the world gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. Only the niggas, only Judah's gonna do it. The true Judah. So that's how we're gonna build that Jew town, the true Jew town. All right. And so with that being said, I love y'all. Thanks for joining in. Glad I got into about like 45 of them. Let me see if these dudes are still up here. They're still up there, just sitting on the wall. All right. Say what's up, Dougie Dove. Tell me some of these cashews. I gave them cashews, and they like cashews. I love cashews now. And y'all love cashews now? Yeah, I love cashews. Say what's up. You see you right there? Look. That's you. That's me. Yeah, that's you. Dougie Dub is something else. Look at him. That's you. You can't eat the big pieces though. Y'all see me vibing out with the boo. Alright, I love y'all. I'm gonna get ready to hop up off here with the 45. So yeah, separation, just start getting ready. Just you know, boycott certain things as best as possible. I know you can't do it completely, but you'll notice they're gonna try to be in your face a lot more once you start limiting your interaction with them. Your hey, hi, how you doing? Like all that, all the none of that shit. You know, just very limited. Like they be mad that you ain't engaging with them. Like, oh, you don't do nothing. They don't say more. You don't talk more. They just say, like, what do we have to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Right now at this stage, what do we have to talk about? I'm telling you, it ain't too much. We see a lot of shit on TikTok. We see a lot of devaluation. We know niggas ain't never devalued nobody. We trying to help everybody get better. You know what I mean? We want them, you know, make it get better with whatever we got. We ain't even got shit, but we still want to make it better. So it's like we gotta let go now, man. Because it's like, what the fuck do you want? You done took this, you done took our women, now you done raised the women, you done took the kids, now you done made everybody this. Okay, we just choose to let y'all go. You don't even want to play no more, okay? Y'all can go. You come at us, then you're going to show this is what y'all wanted to do all along. We're going to have you play your hand. Because as evidently the world don't get it. Like, they're coming at us. We don't go after them. We can leave everybody alone. We don't care. At this stage, we kind of want to break up. We do want to break up. Shit. We want to get our own. Everybody know that. They don't want to leave niggas alone because they gonna have so much fun. They alone and shit. They playing with true God and shit, animals and all of this. They actually got back to the game. They actually doing what they fuck they want to do. Y'all feel them spirits? Yeah, they feel them. They feel them. They up there. But we right here though. Don't worry, the dragons will be up. The griffins will be up in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see who's gonna have that kundalini up. We're gonna see the griffins. They see things too, and they eat things too. All right, I love y'all. I'll be with you in the next one, please. One time for the Cabbage Patch.